here on a hot July evening, July 3rd, a pre-holiday night. My name is Luke Nadkarni, joined in the booth tonight by Nathan Schwartz, and the Charlottesville Tom Sox look for win number 5 in a row on the eve of America's 257th birthday. Make that 357th birthday here in the USA. Nathan, the bats have come to life over the last couple games, double digits in the last 2 wins over Covington and Culpeper. What's been the secret sauce here for the Tom Sox?
I think it's really just been getting contributions from 1 through 9 in the lineup. A lot of times this season, especially here at home, it's been 1 or 2 guys to get a couple hits, and then the bats just go silent. But in the past couple games, there's been contributions in innings 1 through 9 and through spots in the lineup 1 through 9 rather than just a couple guys and then a 2-run spot in 1 or 2 innings.
This game traditionally played on July 4th, bumping it up a day here so the Valley League can take the holiday off. And the Waynesboro Generals come in with a record of 8-15 and take on the Tom Sox with a lineup that looks like this. Alexander McCoy, the first baseman, leads things off, followed by Alex Miller, the right fielder, batting second. Brandon Forczyk, the left fielder, bats third, and the cleanup man is the designated hitter, Mason Stroh. Riley Frost, the shortstop, bats fifth. Isaiah Mirabal, the catcher, is in the 6th hole. 7, 8, and 9 for the Waynesboro Generals. Center fielder Julian Uejima. Second baseman Vince Sabatino. And the third baseman Max Smiley rounds out the batting order for the Generals against the Tom Sox defense as they take the field in their pinstriped white home uniforms with the white caps, navy blue bills, Tom Sox in navy blue across the chest, and the navy blue numerals trimmed in lime green on the back. Their lineup in the field is Derek Williams in left, David Wiley in center, Garrett Spikes in right, left to right around the infield, third baseman Connor Hinks, shortstop Kyle Edwards, Bryce Martinez is at second, Alex Boucher in his Tom Sox swan song tonight is the first baseman, KJ Alexander, catchers, and Darian Smith is the pitcher, a right-hander for the Tom Sox out of Southeastern, as Charlottesville looking for win number 5 in a row. And Nathan, it's hot out there, but these teams look as ready to play as anybody.
Yeah, and these two teams know each other well. Played in the opening game of the season, played 2 weeks later out in Waynesboro. The first time they've played in about 2.5 weeks, and it's always a good matchup when these two teams get together.
Taking the warm-up tosses on the mound, a right-hander out of Southeastern is Darian Smith. He's relatively new to the Tom Sox, 6'3", 190, rising senior, and the Generals coming in struggling a little bit. They're normally a team that Tom Sox have seen a lot in the postseason, as Tom Sox, going back to last week, have had wins against Covington and Culpeper, 1 on the road, 1 right back here at CHO Airport Field, as it was a kind of a rough go of things for a couple of reasons, a lot of rain and then a couple of losses, but the Tom Sox definitely seem to have moved past all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And each season's going to have its ups and downs, Luke. And a couple weeks ago, that's what it was for the Tom Sox. A little bit of a dry spell offensively, and then the 5-game rainout. But now getting back into playing every day. This team's getting hot at the right time. Get the day off tomorrow to get ready for a crucial stretch down the line.
Most definitely. We're about ready to start here from CHO Airport Field, as Alexander McCoy out of University of Maryland Eastern Shore. McCoy, the first baseman. It'll be a righty-on-righty matchup. Our home plate umpire tonight is James Love. Vance Coleman works the field. He is positioned behind the Tom Sox first baseman, Alex Boucher, and we are just about ready to go here from CHO Airport Field right at 7 o'clock. As the first pitch is swung on and fouled back off the equipment of the catcher, Calvin Alexander, and right away we get a new baseball.
And this will be the second start of the season for Darian Smith. He played in the makeup game of the rainout from 2 weeks ago against Newmarket. Last Tuesday went 3 innings in that one. Only gave up 1 earned run on 1 hit, but did walk 3 and picked up the loss.
0-1 the count. Smith looking in. Goes from the windup, and he brings the glove over his head. Kicks, fires, and a nice-looking pitch there on the outer half. Looked like a little bit of a cutter action there.
Yeah,
Swing and a miss.
That cutter or slider, however the grip comes out to be, that's going to be the pitch that Darian Smith's going to go to in those 0-1, 0-2 counts.
Alexander sets up outside. Next pitch comes in the dirt, 1-2. Tom Sox 13-7 on the season. Winners of 4 straight. From from the windup. The kick, the delivery, it's a curveball, swing and a miss, strike three, and a strong start for the Tom Sox pitcher, Darian Smith.
Great sequence there. Went to the slider on the 0-1 pitch, the 0-2 pitch, and then McCoy really didn't have any idea what that 1-2 delivery was going to be. And McCoy's been at the top of this Waynesboro lineup all season long. He's been in the top three both times these two teams have matched up. Came into the game hitting .370 with 14 runs driven in. Not your prototypical leadoff guy, but he goes down on the first batter tonight.
Here's Alex Miller, native of Plant City, Florida. He's in right field. Fouls the first pitch off himself, and it's 0-1. From Mid-American Christian. Also listed as a second baseman.
Versatility, the name of the game now in college baseball. The way you're going to get on the field, you're going to have to play multiple positions.
We're seeing a lot of that with the Tom Sox. Connor Hinks, it seems like, has been in a different position every night. The 0-1 coming in and screamed foul over the Tom Sox dugout. It's 0-2. Generals in the navy blue uniforms. Gray pants, Red Sox. Smith winds, fires. That one is called. Third strike on the outside corner. And James Love rings it up there. Another cutter there. And working early. We saw last night Shane Stossel struck out the side for the Tom Sox in the top half, and 2/3 of the way now there is Darian Smith.
And getting this type of production and keeping these hitters on their toes early in the game like this can set up more success later down the line. The hitters are going to be pressing more. They're going to be swinging earlier in the counts, trying to get that better pitch, and they might not hit the best pitch that you're going to throw in that at-bat.
First lefty batter of the game comes up for Waynesboro, Brandon Forchick, the left fielder. And he looks at a ball upstairs. Forchick out of Barry University, native of Boca Raton. No trouble for him here in the heat. The 1-0 from Smith is fouled back into the backstop. It's 1-1, I should say. 2 away, nobody out. Just underway here at CHO Airport Field. Tom Sox 11-4 winners over Culpeper last night. A lot of offense late in that one. The 1-1 hit on the ground, 3 hops. Kyle Edwards at short, picks it up, throws it over to Boucher at first, and that'll do it for the Waynesboro Generals here in the top of the first. 1-2-3 they go, and it's 0-0 with the Tom Sox coming to the plate for the first time tonight. This is Tom Sox TV. Tom Sox coming to the plate, winners of 4 in a row, and they bring a batting order that looks like this here in the bottom of the first. Kyle Edwards, the shortstop, who had the putout to end the Waynesboro first, leads things off, followed by his middle infield mate, Bryce Martinez. Derek Williams is in left field, followed by the first baseman, Alex Boucher, who bats cleanup after a 3-run home run last night. Aiden Teal, the designated hitter, bats 5th, followed by the third baseman, Connor Hinks, in the 6th hole. 7-8-9 for the Tom Sox. David Wiley, the center fielder, Calvin Alexander, the catcher, and Garrett Spikes, the designated hitter, brings up the rear as they will face a Waynesboro defense that looks like this. Brandon Forchick, the left fielder, Julian Uejima, the center fielder, Alex Miller in right, left to right around the infield, Max Smiley, Riley Frost on the left, Vince Sabatino at second, Alexander McCoy at first, and Isaiah Mirabal catches for Tyler Cerrone, a right-hander, so a righty-on-righty matchup. Cerrone out of New Jersey Institute of Technology up against Kyle Edwards here. And the Tom Sox will look to take some momentum from that strong defensive first inning. As looking in, first pitch to Edwards is called a ball just outside.
Kyle's been great at the top of this lineup since moving from the number 9 spot to that leadoff spot. He was at the number 2 spot earlier in the year, but he's really settled in and has been getting on base a ton for Lyndon Coleman's squad.
The 1-0 is just upstairs.
And take a look at the stats for Kyle. 324 average. That's second best on the team. He's had the most at-bats on the team by a far margin with 68, and he's gotten 22 hits on the year.
2-0 is on the inner half. Nice off-speed pitch there for a called strike, and Edwards upset with himself that he didn't see that coming. He probably could have hit that one over the fence if he knew it was coming, but it's 2-1.
Sneaky power with Edwards.
The kick, the delivery, and a strike delivered from Cerrone on the outer half.
Cerrone, on the other hand, making his first start of the season. He's made 6 relief appearances, gone to 7 2/3 innings, only giving up 3 hits, struck out 11.
2-2 the count to Edwards. Another breaking ball, and it's up at his eyeball as he goes fishing for it and swings and misses. And there's one away for the Tom Sox here in the bottom of the first.
Well, that's a classic scenario right there of seeing a pitch earlier in the at-bat, thinking it's going to have the same type of movement, and then when you see the same pitch later in the at-bat, you get caught swinging at something you shouldn't be swinging at. And on that 2-0 breaking ball that came in way down on his belt, you saw how much movement that pitch had. That ball kind of hung up there at the top of the zone, and Edwards couldn't get the hands up.
Good job there by Cerrone to record the first out. And it's Bryce Martinez who squares around to bunt and then pulls back, takes a fastball down the middle for a strike, 0-1. Martinez out of Wofford, native of Inglewood, Colorado. One away here in the bottom of the first. The 0-1 to Martinez, swing and a miss, strike 2. The pitcher's pounding the zone here early. Trayvon Smith coaches at first for the Tom Sox. Brian Worth over at third. And Lyndon Coleman, the manager, directing traffic from the dugout. 0-2 to Martinez as he swings at the next pitch and hits it sharply down the right field line, but just foul by a couple of feet. And we'll do it again.
Martinez usually benefits a lot from working the count, getting the ball in the infield, and just simply putting the ball in play, spraying it all over the outfield, and that's apparent with his 292 average, 9 RBI on the year. He's gotten on base a ton as well. 10 stolen bags.
Down 0-2 here. Cerrone delivers as Martinez hits that one sharply on the ground through the hole at third and short, and that's the Tom Sox first base hit and our first base runner for either team of today's game. Good job there with the 0-2 count to protect and choke up a little bit and give the Tom Sox a base runner.
Got a fastball in the inner half of the plate. You mentioned he had the bat choked up, pulled his hands through, kept him tight to the body, and was able to pull that one into the gap between short and third, and that's as easy as a single's going to get.
Now it's Derek Williams, whose bat has heated up as of late. He's designated hit it a few times, but he's in left field tonight as he takes a curveball upstairs for ball 1.
You know, the positioning for Williams the rest of the way is going to be a little interesting. You mentioned this is the swan song for Alex Boucher. He's been at first base the past week or so, and it's been already a revolving door at that position for the Tom Sox this season with a few guys, Hollis Porter, Connor Hanks, Derek Williams, Boucher, Dane Camphausen at the beginning of the season, Shane Stossel as well. So a ton of guys that can play first base, but there hasn't been one guy that's solidified himself other than Boucher.
The 1-0 is a curveball that nearly hits Williams in the head. He ducks and goes off the mitt of the catcher, Isaiah Mirabal. And that will allow the runner, Martinez, to scoot down to second. So now the Tom Sox with a man in scoring position.
going back to that point with Williams, he also has gotten a little bit of time at first base as well, so we'll see if he gets more playing time in the field and at first base rather than sticking to the corner outfield and the DH spot.
Had a go-ahead 3-run homer on Thursday night against Stanton. Martinez takes off. Ball is up and inside, 3-0, and Martinez gets in without a throw to third.
This team always has a great feel for when to take off. Knowing that it's a 2-0 count, pitcher's going to have to throw the ball likely over the plate. More possibly a hit-and-run scenario there, but Martinez able to take third without a throw.
The 3-0 to Williams is up and away, so a 4-pitch walk. Tom Sox up 2 straight base runners. Now first and third for the cleanup man, the aforementioned Alex Boucher, and he turned the game on its head last night in the 5th inning with a 3-run shot that made it 5-4 in favor of Charlottesville, and they never let the Culpeper Cavaliers back in the game. 11-4 was the final, but Boucher providing the play of the game, really one of a couple plays of the game, as he bats with first and third here, and first pitch misses from Cerrone upstairs.
Boucher had his struggles at the beginning of his time with the Tom Sox. He's really put together a lot of good at-bats lately, and with this being his last game, can't think of a better way for him to go out than with a couple runs driven in.
The 1-0 is right down the middle for a strike. Not sure if we'll see Williams try and run.
More than likely not. He has swiped 2 bags on the season, but not a ton of speed.
Tough to turn double plays in this league. Although the Tom Sox turned one to end the game last night. Cerrone shakes off a sign from the stretch. Brings the glove down to his belt. And another pickoff throw to keep Williams honest. Martinez, the runner on third. He stole twice. Well, advanced on a pass ball and then stole third. The 1-1 is right at the knees for a strike, 1-2.
Let's take a look at Alex's stats over his time this season. 179 average, just 5 hits and 28 at-bats. That home run and 4 RBI performances are his lone stats in those categories this year.
The 1-2 is a curveball, and it is looped into left center field, and it sits down for an RBI single. Martinez trundles home. Stopping at second is Derek Williams, and the Tom Sox make the Generals pay. It's 1-0 here with 1 away in the bottom of the first.
Wasting no time getting things going. A 2-run spot for the Tom Sox on Sunday in Covington. A couple big runs in the second inning last night for Kyle Edwards with a 2-run double, and here Boucher, RBI single in his final game, his first at-bat of the night for the Tom Sox, and already Charlottesville with the 1-0 lead.
First and second, 1 away. Williams the lead runner at second, and the batter now Aiden Teal out of the University of Virginia, brother of all-star catcher Kyle Teal, and Aiden Teal swings at the first pitch and lines it into right field. But they'll see if they'll send Williams. They will. The throw comes to the plate, but it's up the line. Williams scores without sliding, and taking second on the throw is Teal. He comes in safely. In the meantime, over to third base goes Alex Boucher. It's 2-0 Tom Sox, and runners on second and third.
A whole lot going on that play. I didn't think there was any chance Brian Worth was going to send Derek Williams. That ball was into the glove of the outfielder Owen Miller. By the time Williams was rounding third base, I thought it was going to be an easy play at the plate. Throw was a little bit up the line. Williams able to sneak around the tag, and then great aggressive base running by Boucher and Teal to advance the extra 90 feet.
Here's Connor Hinks out of Notre Dame. First pitch swinging again. This one is looped into right. Comes down for a base hit. That's going to score at least one. Wide turn at third, but they're going to hold Teal. The throw comes into second after it's cut off. Hinks dives in safely as it bounces into center, which allows Teal to score after all. So a bit of craziness lingering here in this first inning. Chalk up 2 more runs for the Tom Sox. It's 4-0.
It's absolute chaos the last 2 batters. It was pretty much the same exact scenario for Teal there as it was for Hinks as it was Teal in the previous at-bat. And this time Teal was held at third base by Brian Worth, but then advanced to home plate on that errant throw, just trying to to move extra 90 feet for Hinks, and it leads to a run.
So 4 singles and a walk for the Tom Sox following the leadoff strikeout. And a 4 spot here in the top of the first. Runner on second, 1 away. The batter is David Wiley. Wiley was wearing a Georgia helmet last night. This time he goes with the Notre Dame helmet.
Seems like we always see him wearing a different helmet, sometimes multiple helmets in one game.
He's up 1-0 after taking a ball up and away. The 1-0 is hit slowly on the ground to third, but it's going to roll foul.
I don't recall the Tom Sox having this much offensive production in the first inning of a game this season. And it's been 3 consecutive singles that have gotten the job done.
It was the extra base hits last night, a couple of doubles, and the 3-run shot by Boucher. Here's the 1-1 with 1 away, and a elevated fastball swung on and missed by Wiley, 1-2.
You got to think the change from relief to starter for Cerrone has got to do something with possibly his location of his pitches being a little bit off.
Hinks on second, 1-2 the count, 4-0 Tom Sox. The look back, the delivery by Cerrone is hit in the air, high to center. Easily playable for Uejima, and he bags it. No advancement from the runner Hinks, and an unproductive out for the Tom Sox. Runner on second now with 2 outs.
For Cerrone, that's a big second out. Having given up 4 walks and 4 hits and a walk in the last 5 batters, just needed to do something to limit the damage and getting a fly out where the runners can't advance. That's as productive of an out as you're going to get on the mound in this scenario.
Hinks on second for Calvin Alexander doing the catching tonight in the 8-hole, and he takes a curveball for a strike to start over the inner half. Alexander, another long ball threat for the Tom Sox. This is his second year here. Came on towards the end of last season. Of course, the Tom Sox took all the marbles last year in a 2-game sweep over Woodstock, as Alexander, fooled by that one, he swings and misses 0-2.
KJ, in his second year with the Tom Sox, .219 average, 7 hits, has 2 doubles, a homer, 7 runs driven in, and has 6 walks to his name as well.
0-2 the count. Cerrone looks back, looking to get out of this disastrous first inning for Waynesboro, as he misses with a purpose pitch down and out. 1-2 the count now with Hinks on second. Garrett Spikes waits on deck for the Tom Sox. He's the 9-hole hitter. One and two. The look back to second. Now the delivery. That's in the dirt for ball 2. Good stop there by Mirabal.
A couple waste pitches there for Cerrone. Slider on the 0-2. Left it a little bit up, but Alexander was biting on the first 2 pitches, trying to get into chase, and then put one in the dirt right there. Another chase pitch, likely going to challenge him on the inside here on the 2-2.
From the belt. Kicks, fires. That's a ball up at the, well, I would say up at the head, but it was behind him, really. So that makes it 3-2.
And I said challenge him on the inside. I didn't mean throw it behind him. I mean, that was clear he was trying to throw the fastball in the inner part of the plate, and it just sailed on him.
Tom Sox have 4 hits this inning, aided by a General's error. The 3-2 to Alexander is hit straight back foul to the backstop.
Yeah, the order of events in this inning: strikeout, single, walk, single, 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 and then that fly out for David Wiley in the last at-bat.
More singles than the first day of Wimbledon today. As we do the payoff to KJ Alexander again. Cerrone looks back. The kick, the delivery, and it's outside for ball 4, so the inning keeps going. Tom Sox have officially batted around here as Garrett Spikes digs in. And time called now by the Waynesboro catcher, Mirabal, as the Tom Sox have first and second with 2 away. 4 runs in already in this first inning.
Here's Spikes, the veteran of veterans on this team so far. Hasn't had a whole lot of chances here in his now 3rd season with Charlottesville. Just 200 average, 1 for 5 over his first couple games, 2 strikeouts in there. Did swipe a bag as well. And a big chance here to drive in his first run of the season.
Spends almost as much time in Charlottesville as he does in Athens, it seems. Righty on lefty matchup. Spike's first pitch swinging, and he fouls it back to the left side, 0-1. Likes to hang out on the lawn, he told us yesterday during the game here at the University of Virginia.
A lot of guys on the team like the lawn.
0-1 the count. First and second. Spikes looks at the ball inside. Spikes saw limited duty for now deposed coach Scott Strickland and the Georgia Bulldogs this season. Dogs hired Wes Johnson from LSU, the pitching coach. As a curveball comes in and misses just outside, 2-1.
Already 33 pitches in this inning now for Cerrone, and for a guy that's used to throwing limited relief innings, this is a big shift for him.
Tom Sox have a guy up in the bullpen, but I think it's just Smith staying loose, to your point there. As Spikes puts a charge into this one, deep to right center field, it'll one-hop the wall and score 2 runs. Garrett Spikes in the 9-hole, motoring around second. He takes a wide turn there and decides to stop. Alexander scores, and scoring as well is Hinks, and that will make it 6-0 here. The Tom Sox take the first set with a bagel here in the bottom of the first.
How about all this offense for Charlottesville in this first inning? We've been talking about it all season long, but the offense just has not been there, and when it has been there, it's been gone right as it appears. One game, double-digit runs, one game, 8 runs, and then the offense just goes away. But now they're starting to stagger up really impressive offensive performances.
Here's Kyle Edwards, who struck out to start the inning, which feels like an ancient memory. And he takes the ball in the dirt to start 1-0. And Edwards, you never want to be the guy who makes the first and the third out of an inning. I've seen it happen before to guys, and kind of sets you up to be that guy of the game where you have a poor offensive game when your team has a good one. As Edwards fouls that one back, it's 1-1.
Yeah, I've been there myself during my playing days, and it's not a fun feeling.
He's got a runner on second, Garrett Spikes. 6 runs in here for the Tom Sox in the bottom of the first. 1-1 the count. Cerrone, the New Jersey Tech product, brings in a curveball, and that one is smacked to left field. High, deep, but not deep enough, as Brandon Forchik comes to the track and makes the grab heading toward the foul line. But not before the Tom Sox get 5 runs. Waynesboro Air netting them 6 runs, and it's a fast start on offense for Charlottesville as we go to the top of the second. This is Tom Sox TV. Six to nothing, the Tom Sox in front here at CHO Airport Field. Luke Ned Carney, Nathan Schwartz here with you on the eve of America's birthday as the Tom Sox with some fireworks in the first inning, but no long balls, just a bunch of singles and one double from Garrett Spikes.
Well, he almost had a couple of long balls there. Maybe if it was 100 degrees instead of 90 degrees, we would have gotten 2 more long balls on the season for the Tom Sox. Spikes double one, hops the one right center, one of the deepest parts of the park, and then Edwards laces one on a line to straightaway left, but that was caught on the track. Maybe if that one gets into the gap, that's going to be a triple for him with his speed. But I think the Tom Sox will take those 6 runs.
Yeah, and I think you and I up here will too as well. This is the best first inning I've seen this season for sure. As 4, 5, and 6 coming up for the Generals here. As Mason Stroh, the designated hitter, digs in. Righty on lefty matchup. Plays at North Iowa Area Community College. But he's a native of Grand Forks, North Dakota, which is the home of the University of North Dakota, which, if you're a hockey fan, you're very familiar with. 1-0 the count to Stroh, who held up on a pitch out of the strike zone. Alexander, the catcher, asked for an appeal, but James Love gives none. Now he does, and Vance Coleman, our base umpire, says no, so it's 2-0. Smith fires from the windup and misses way up and out with the 2-0. Now it's 3-0.
It's always difficult to go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the inning, and then your team scores 6 runs in the bottom half of the inning, gives about a 20-minute break. Then you got to go right back out there and try and perform the same. And you can see there, 4-pitch walk, not ideal for Smith.
I think that's why we saw him as the 4th pitch misses outside for a ball and actually gets by Alexander. That's why we saw him go up to the bullpen, I think, toward the end of that bottom of the first inning. So now Riley Frost out of North Georgia gets his first turn at the plate. Waynesboro has its first base runner of the game. Runner on first for Waynesboro. Nobody out. As the first pitch misses outside. 5 balls in a row thrown by Darian Smith. He worked a 1-2-3. Top of the first inning. 6-0 Tom Sox here in the top of the second. And the 0-2 comes in and hits the batter, Frost, right off the back of the shoulder. Definitely looked like it hurt. And they'll give him a minute to trot down to first. And not an ideal start to the top of the second as Lyndon Coleman calls time. And nobody currently throwing in the Tom Sox bullpen. So our first mound visit of the game from the Charlottesville dugout.
A complete 180 flip there for Smith was effective and efficient in that first inning. 2 strikeouts and the ground out to Forchick, but now 4-pitch walk. Fastball got away on the inner half there, and now facing a little bit of trouble, and it all comes back to the amount of time he had to sit in that dugout and wait for his turn to get back out there on the mound. Just a little bit of jitters, maybe not having a great feel for your pitches coming back out after the break. But as quick as you can get a 6-run lead is as quick as you can let that 6-run lead go to waste, and this game could easily get tied back up, especially with that potent lineup for Waynesboro.
Visit is over from Lyndon Coleman. See if that settles Smith down at all. As Isaiah Mirabal, the catcher for Waynesboro, comes up to the plate, the 6-hole hitter out of Tiffin, native of Bayside, New York, and Queens. And this is a catcher running here, or catcher batting, so you've got a prime double play candidate as the Tom Sox infield switches into that depth. Darian Smith facing a 2-on, nobody out situation. First pitch misses just upstairs, ball 1. Long look in, 1-0 the count. A walk and a hit by pitch issued by the Tom Sox here to start the top of the second. Smith fires, curveball, bends in. The batter dipped out of the way early, and that ball was over the plate, but called a ball.
I don't know if the batter's stepping out that early and that ball catches even somewhat of the corner of the plate. I feel like that's got to be a call you got to make. Mirabal, not a lot of at-bats in this season. Maybe just a lack of seeing the ball since his college season. getting out of the way there.
Two pretty good pitches by Smith, both called balls, and that one is in the dirt. And it's 3-0 now. And if you follow this league long enough, James Love behind the plate, known as what you could charitably describe as a hitter-friendly umpire, as witnessed by those last couple of calls in that first two pitches of the AB. Here's the 3-0, no chance there. The bases are loaded now for Waynesboro, and Tom Sox are going to get somebody up in the bullpen, I believe, and Waynesboro with a chance to scratch away some of that early deficit they've gotten themselves into.
And obviously Darian Smith's going to get the chance to work himself out of this, and giving up a run or two isn't the worst thing when you're up by 6 runs after just the first inning. And facing that adversity is what's going to mold Smith, and not only Smith but anybody in this scenario, into a better pitcher.
Up now for Waynesboro is Julian Uejima, the center fielder, and the first pitch misses. So 2 walks and a hit by pitch from Smith. Tom Sox still up 6-0, but Waynesboro threatening here. Bases loaded, nobody out. They'll take the double play for the run, but the corners come in for the Tom Sox, and finally a strike thrown. It's 1-1.
Just powering that fastball over the plate. That's going to be the best way that Smith can get back into this inning and get a couple outs on the board, force them to make contact, and let your fielders do the rest.
The 1-1 is hit in the air, right side, and foul out of play. So this would be a big first out to get here for a strikeout.
Just a reminder, you can return all foul balls to the concession stand for a great prize.
Still no hits yet for the Generals. They have committed an error. 3 base runners here, though, and the 1-2 coming in from Smith. Breaking ball hit on the ground. Edwards to Martinez. The relay to Boucher is in time. Turn it over. The run will score on the double play, but I think the Tom Sox will take that, as we kind of spoke it into existence up here. That middle infield of Martinez and Edwards working real well together. And it's 6-1 now. Generals with a run on the board, but now you're out of that bases loaded situation.
Yeah, I think if you're Darian Smith, you're going to take that every game in the week. You know, trading the bases loaded scenario to now runner on third with 2 out, and you still have that leeway of now you have a base open, you have your ability to throw any of your pitches for strikes.
And he does that there as a fastball comes in at the knees for a strike to Vince Sabatino, the second baseman. Sabatino out of Fairmont, West Virginia, plays at Fairmont State, which is just about 10 minutes south or so of Morgantown, along old I-79 up in the Appalachians as he swings and misses. I'm going to call that a swing. He went about 3/4 of the way, not a check swing, so it's 0-2. And the Tom Sox really looking to minimize the damage here. Runner still on third. Six to 1 the score. 0-2. Smith fires, and that one is off the fists, foul out of play.
Sabatino, a decent amount of at-bats this season. 6 for 32, only 2 runs driven in on the season for him. He's up there on the team in strikeouts with 12 this season. Just not a guy that hits for average or gets on base a whole lot.
0-2 still the count. Generals with a run in here in the top of the second. Smith fires, misses high and inside, 1-2. Tom Sox will have 2, 3, and 4 in their half of the second. It's a 6-1 ball game. Runner on second, 2 away. The 1-2 from Smith. Misses down and out.
Same pitch we saw earlier in the at-bat they got Sabatino to swing around on. A little further out to the left-handed batter's box. And now, again, setting up that 2-2 pitch more toward the inside half of the plate.
Count is even with a runner on second. From the windup, breaking ball, beautiful pitch, and it was out of the strike zone somewhere because Smith walked halfway back to the dugout and did not get the call. And now it's 3-2. And I don't know what you have to do to get a punch out there if you throw in that pitch.
A lot of calls early in this game that could have gone either way, as you alluded to, Luke.
The payoff, fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Darian Smith with a little extra oomph as he comes off the mound here after surrendering a run on no hits and no Tom Sox errors. A timely double play helping Charlottesville get out of that inning. 6-1 our score. We go to the bottom of the second. This is Tom Sox TV. Back here at CHO Airport Field, Luke Nadkarni, Nathan Schwartz. And we've seen some offense thus far. Generals scratch across a run in the top half of the second inning, and it's 6-1 Tom Sox as they come up for their second at-bat. And Bryce Martinez leads things off. The second baseman who was instrumental in that double play that did score a Waynesboro run but helped Darian Smith limit the damage. As we were told, Braden Halliday was the one warming up in the bullpen for the Tom Sox during that inning. His first pitch from Cerrone, who's back out there for inning number 2, bounces in the dirt. It's ball 1.
And it talked about this in the open, but it mentioned 1 through 9 in the Tom Sox lineup have really been producing. This past couple games, in that first inning, 7 of the 10 batters for the Tom Sox reached base.
The 1-0 to Martinez is socked into left field for a solid base hit. And just like that first inning, he could be the guy that gets the offense started here as left fielder Derek Williams comes to the plate.
Martinez, not a whole lot of power, but he will get single after single after single out of 2, 3, and 4 hit games for him this season. That's why he cemented himself in that number 2 spot in the lineup.
And now the heavy hitters coming up. Derek Williams, your 2023 Valley League Home Run Derby champion, up at Front Royal 8 days ago, batting with a man on first and nobody out. Hits this one in the air to right center field. It's fairly deep, but it will be playable in the gap for Alex Miller, who shields his eyes from the sun and makes the catch for out number 1. Tom Sox jumping on these pitches early. We saw in the first inning it was a lot of first pitch swings and it was a lot of good results.
Oh yeah, jumping up early in the counts. A lot of 0-1 swings for that Tom Sox lineup in the first inning, and they were spraying it all over the place, gap to gap, line to line for those 5 hits.
Alex Boucher, the cleanup man, first baseman, was part of that 4 singles and 5 ABs. First throw is a pickoff. Boucher, a 3-run shot against Culpeper last night, the Norfolk native. We'll be heading back down to Old Dominion after this game. Pretty common in the Valley League. Not everybody stays the whole season. So the first pitch is downstairs and in the dirt for a ball.
Only about a 2.5-week stint for Alex. Got here about June 10th, June 12th or so, somewhere in that range. And then now right before the 4th of July, he's going to head back to school.
1-0 the count. Throwing over to get Martinez back to first. Generals managed by Matty Holum in his first season, replacing Zach Cole, who was hired as the head coach at Florida Southwestern, which is a school that provides several Tom Sox players. The 1-0, Martinez goes. Pitch gets by the catcher, and Martinez takes a wide turn thought about going to third. He thinks better of it. Now another runner in scoring position.
Second stolen base already for Martinez. He's one of the guys on this Tom Sox lineup that has the green light to go. Fourth on the team, entering the game with 10. He's now got 12, bumping up to third on the team, just behind Edwards with 14 and Sergio Rivera with 18.
RBI opportunity now for Alex Boucher as Cerrone steps off the mound. Action in the Generals bullpen. They have a right-hander. 2-0 the count to the cleanup man Boucher. Curveball dips in there for strike one.
2-0 count, backdoor curveball. I thought maybe the chance Boucher uncorks on that baseball as we saw last night. Similar pitch that he went yard on. Just didn't think he was going to get a good swing on that at bat, so he took it.
2-1 the count. Martinez dances off second. Big secondary lead. There he goes to third, and the pitch bounces. Good block there by the catcher Mirabal, but he's not going to have a play. And deja vu, Martinez gets second and then third.
That's what good teams do. They take what the defense gives them. Martinez going off on two really good pitches, breaking balls in the dirt.
The 3-1. Cerrone looks in, kicks, delivers, and that one is smacked into the gap. Left center field carrying. Will it get out of here? No, it won't, but it'll hit the wall on the fly. And Alex Boucher cruises into second with a RBI double, and scoring on the play is Bryce Martinez, his second run of the game, and it's 7-1.
One heck of a swan song for Alex Boucher. Mentioned in his first at-bat that it would be no better of a way for him to go out than driving in a couple runs. And what has he done in his first two at-bats? Driven in a run in each at-bat. A single and a double for him in his first two at-bats tonight.
Aiden Teal, who had an RBI single his first time at the plate. The designated hitter in the 5-hole. The lone University of Virginia player in the lineup tonight for the Tom Sox. One away, runner on second, Tom Sox with a run in. They've scored at both their at-bats here, and that first pitch called a strike at the knees. Seven to 1, Tom Sox in front. 0-1 the count to Teal. Hits this one on the ground to second. Scooped up by Sabatino. He has a play at first, getting it over to McCoy. Advancing 90 feet over to third base is Alex Boucher, and with a runner on third now, 2 away.
Productive out getting the runner over to third base. Now only 2 outs, so you have to get a ball into the outfield in order for that run to score. Or hard into the infield, maybe infield single action, maybe reach on an error that allows Boucher to score, but still nonetheless getting that runner 90 feet closer.
Or a ball by the catcher for that matter. We've seen a couple of those as Connor Hinks, the third baseman, steps up for the Tom Sox. Again, he swings at the first pitch, just like he did in his first at-bat, and it is caught just at the shoe tops by Vince Sabatino. So the Tom Sox get a couple of hits. They played a run. There were no Waynesboro errors, and it's 7-1. The Tom Sox with a 6-run lead as we go to the third. This is Tom Sox TV. Tom Sox 7, Generals 1 here at CHO Airport Field as Darian Smith out for inning number 3, facing 9-1-2 for Waynesboro. Luke Ned Carney, Nathan Schwartz joining you from the booth here at CHO Airport Field. Tom Sox looking for win number 5 in a row following an offensive explosion, or really 2 offensive explosions in the last couple of games.
Yeah, it's been really encouraging to see that this line has the capability to put up a ton of runs, and now that they've shown that they can do it multiple games in a row, this team is going to get really dangerous moving forward into this final half of the season.
Third baseman Max Smiley is the leadoff hitter for Waynesboro here in the the top of the 3rd inning. And he takes a strike to start at the letters. Smiley's out of Whitefish, Montana, but plays at Gardner Webb in Boiling Springs, North Carolina, takes a strike.
And played a little bit of everywhere for Waynesboro this season. 227 average, 1 homer, 8 RBI to his name.
The 0-2 from Smith stays low and outside. Tom Sox 6 in the first, 1 in the second. The kick, the delivery from Smith, and it's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So nothing to smile about there for the third baseman for Waynesboro. He goes down swinging for out number 1.
Thought there was a chance we might see Braden Howday come into this game in the 3rd inning, but instead Darian Smith gets a chance to come back into the game. And what does he do? He strikes out the first batter he faces in the 3rd inning. Second time tonight he's gotten back-to-back Ks. Made that 4 for him through the first time through the lineup.
And he's about to face the 2 batters he struck out back-to-back in the 1st inning. Here's the first baseman, Alexander McCoy, and he takes a ball upstairs. McCoy went down swinging his first time. The 1-0, foul tipped into the mitt of Calvin Alexander, strike 1.
How about some of these stats for Alexander McCoy? He's gotten 30 hits on the season. He's appeared in 21 games, 370 average, 14 RBI, 11 walks, 11 hit by pitches, and 21 stolen bases.
Hits this one high in the air, right center field. Who's going to make the call? It's David Wiley waving off Garrett Spikes, and it is caught for out number 2.
And for Waynesboro, right fielder number 2, Alex Miller.
Classic center fielder calling off the right fielder, being the captain of the outfield. A little tough to see if your Spikes out there in right field as well. Wiley probably had a better read on it coming from a more shaded area.
Shadows coming in from the third base side in here at CHO Airport Field. Alex Miller, the right fielder, comes up and tries to check his swing but can't. Seven to 1, Tom Sox in front. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 3rd inning, 0-1. And it's now 1-1 as that ball bounces down and outside. Not quite at the point yet where you've got to pitch in the shadows, but the batter's box is mostly shaded. 1-1 the count. The delivery, that one is called a ball. Just upstairs. Smith has that John Smoltz style delivery, brings the glove up above the head as he winds. Looking in. Kicks, fires, and misses downstairs. A 58-footer, as they say. Good scoop there by Alexander, though nobody's on base to threaten. Hitters count now for Miller, 3-1. Smith fires in a strike. Fastball down the middle, and here's the payoff.
Yeah, 2-seam fastball's really been working for Smith. He's thrown that 2-seamer and the cutter slider to complement it. See what he goes here on the payoff.
With the bases empty and 2 away, Smith delivers the payoff, and that one slides out of the strike zone. And it's a 2-out walk for the Generals. That's the 3rd one they've drawn this evening. Still yet to register a hit, though they have a run on the board. And now to the middle of their order, Brandon Forchick, the left fielder, who grounded out to shortstop in the 1st.
Really good plate discipline there for Miller, who hasn't gotten a whole lot of walks this season. That's walk just number 6 for him, and this being game 12. but having to lay off a tough slider on a 3-2 pitch.
With 2 away, Forchick looks at ball 1 up and away. Miller, the runner, on first after drawing a 2-out walk. Tom Sox up 7-1. The 1-0 to Forchick is hit pretty well in the air. Center field, Wiley going back, looking up, and he's not going to be able to catch up to this one as it one-hops the wall. Miller rounding third. They wave him home, and the throw did not need to be made. It's nowhere near Calvin Alexander, and that's going to allow Forchick to get to get to third on the air. So an RBI double. Give him third on the air, throwing error, and it's 7-2 now, Tom Sox.
Yeah, Kyle Edwards will be the first one to tell you that he should not have made that throw. Didn't really have a chance to get the runner at the plate. Would have been safe regardless, but then the throw going up the line, KJ Alexander really never even had a chance to get to the baseball, allowing that runner to move up. Luckily, it's already a cushion enough for the Tom Sox to where that run is not going to be so crucial at this very point in the game. But later down the line, if that runner on third comes home to score, we could be coming back to that play and wondering how the game would shape up if Kyle hangs on to that baseball.
First pitch comes inside and hits Mason Stroh, the designated hitter. So now first and third for Waynesboro. And the Tom Sox in a bit of 2-out trouble, all predicated with a walk. And that'll drive any manager crazy. Riley Frost, who ironically was hit by a pitch his first time at the plate back in the second inning when the Generals loaded the bases and were able to score a run. Hits this one on the ground, first pitch swinging. Edwards gobbles it up at first over to his college teammate Boucher, and he throws him out for out number 3. But the Generals get their first hit of the ball game and their second run, pushing across one on an RBI double from Brandon Forchick. It's 7-2 Tom Sox as we go to the bottom of the third. This is Tom Sox TV. Tom Sox 7, Generals 2. We've had scoring in all but the top of the first inning, as Charlottesville coming to the plate with hitters 7, 8, and 9. David Wiley will lead things off, followed by Calvin Alexander and Garrett Spikes. As we're in the bottom of the third inning of a 7-2 ball game, the Tom Sox, winners of 4 in a row, looking for one for the thumb tonight. 7-2 the score. Wiley digs in. He flew out to center, his very position, his first time at the plate, and he takes the ball down in the dirt, 1-0.
Wiley's not the guy that's going to get multiple hits in a game, but he's going to be a guy that consistently gets on base once or twice a game, whether that be with a hit or a walk. Hitting .268 right now for the Tom Sox. It's 5th best on the team.
And neither of those things happen there. Well, a hit does, a hit by pitch. And David Wiley takes one right between the 1 and the 9 on his uniform and will trot down to first base.
He gets on base. That's what he does. He also has 5 walks on the season. That's the 3rd time he's been hit by a pitch. Look at his on-base percentage. It was at .375 coming into the game. That's definitely ticked up a little bit now that he's reached base in just his 2nd at-bat of the night.
Generals sticking with Tyler Cerrone, so they've had some action in their bullpen. We'll see if he goes second time through the order, and then they pull him as the pickoff throw comes to first. Alexander walked his first time at the plate. Runner goes from first. Wiley dives in. Throw is bounced and not in time, so trickles out into center field, but not far enough for advancement. And another stolen base for the Tom Sox.
Make that number 4 on the night, and they've all come from Wofford. 3 for Bryce Martinez, and then right there for David Wiley. Landon Coleman sticking to the method he knows best, and that's stealing bags, using small ball to get runners into scoring position. And then, but lately it's been them hitting with balls into the outfield. In the beginning part of the year, it was manufacturing runs with bunts. But now Tom Sox having a little bit of a power surge midway through.
First pitch was called a ball. The second pitch is downstairs for ball 2. Now a hitter's count for the powerful Alexander.
You don't want to give him a pitch in his power zone because he could send this one a long way or at least into the gap for extra bases.
Tom Sox looking to answer the run that Waynesboro has scored in the top half of the third. It's 7-2 in favor of the Sox. The kick, the delivery from Cerrone, and that one is off the fists, foul, out of play back towards the first base side.
That foul ball was sponsored by Taylor's Auto Body. And just a reminder, please, fans, return all foul balls to the concession.
KJ usually able to get his hands around on those kinds of pitches. Fastball on the inside part of the plate, number high. Right there, a little bit late on Cerrone. He has a sneaky heater, a little bit of a different arm slot.
2-1 the count. Delivery misses outside with first base open. The shadows are now just about completely over the infield. Right field is still in the sun. Alexander with a 3-1 count. Cerrone fires, and a good off-speed pitch on the outer half, foul tipped, and it's 3-2.
Caught Alexander being a little impatient there on that 3-1 changeup, maybe expecting heater on the 3-1, knowing he's got to get a ball over the part of the plate. And now Cerrone could go back to that changeup or could challenge Alexander with the high heater.
With a runner on second. Fires, and that one misses upstairs. And now runners on first and second for the Tom Sox with Garrett Spikes coming to the plate. He had a 2-run double his first time up at the plate.
Sent the ball a long way.
We've got time called, and I think the Generals are going to make a pitching change. So the night is over for Tyler Cerrone. After 17 batters, Garrett Spikes will dig in with runners on first and second and nobody out at 7-2 Tom Sox in the bottom of the third inning. We'll tell you about the new Waynesboro hurler right after this on Tom Sox TV. The night is over for Tyler Cerrone. He is replaced by another right-hander, Jack Sullivan, an Orlando, Florida native out of Allegheny Community College. Luke Kearney, Nathan Schwartz here with you in the booth at CHO Airport Field. And continuing a theme from the last couple nights, Nathan, Offense, offense, offense. Tom Sox have scored in both their at-bats here so far and are threatening right now.
Yeah, getting to Cerrone early. Right now, the line for him, 2 innings plus, 7 hits, 7 runs, 5 of those 7 earned, 3 walks and a strikeout. But Cerrone is responsible for Wiley on second and Alexander at first.
So Jack Sullivan will face Garrett Spikes as he takes his final warm-up toss, and Spikes had a big blow in the top of the first inning where the Tom Sox played at 6, a 2-run single, or excuse me, a 2-run double in the 9-hole. As a quick score to pass along from Yankee Stadium, the Baltimore Orioles off to a 3-0 lead in the top of the 4th over the Yankees. It's Aaron Hicks's much anticipated return to the house that, I guess the second house that Ruth built. But Cedric Mullins currently at the plate. No perfect game, Nathan, as you said during the break for Domingo Herman tonight.
Yeah, Domingo Herman, 27 batters faced, 27 outs in his last start against Oakland, but facing a really good Baltimore team right now, approaching 50 wins on the season, 4 All-Stars. Adley Rutschman was announced that he'll be in the Home Run Derby. I'm really excited to see that. First Oriole, and since Trey Mancini did it a couple years ago and almost won the whole thing.
So first and second here, Garrett Spikes bats with nobody out against Jack Sullivan. Spikes squares around a bunt, and he fouls it back into the backstop to the left. I did not think we'd see him square around after that first AB, but it does make a lot of sense here.
Flipping the lineup over, 2 guys that are red hot in Kyle Edwards and Bryce Martinez. Even though Spikes with that 2-run double could just do a job here and get those runners up 90 feet.
Facing an 0-1 count, he doesn't square this time, and the pitch misses outside. Wiley the runner on second, Alexander on first. Calvin Alexander has drawn 2 walks tonight in 2 at-bats. Wiley was hit by a pitch between the 1 and the 9 on his uniform number. The 2-0, or excuse me, the 1-1 bounces in the dirt, and that will allow Wiley to get down to third. So now first and third for the Tom Sox with nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Aggressive base running. That's been the name of the season so far for Charlottesville. David Wiley, not really a great jump on that ball in the dirt. He decided to take off anyway, and luckily Mirabal had some trouble finding it behind the plate, allowed Wiley to get into third safely.
Pitcher exchanges a baseball. Spike's a native of Lawrenceville, Georgia, which is where the Gwinnett Stripers, the AAA team of the Atlanta Braves, plays. Some people I know like to add a P, an extra P to that team's name. Of course, formerly the Richmond Braves. 2-1 the count to Spikes. That one just misses on the inside corner. 3-1. Kyle Edwards on deck. He's 0 for 2 today, so you know he's hungry for a productive AB. Sullivan looking in. Tom Sox have action in their bullpen. The 3-1 pitch. Spikes swings and misses. He was ahead of that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, I think he wanted to swing on that pitch no matter where it was. He was sitting fastball, saw it in the top part of the zone to start, and that just tailed way into the right-handed batter's box. Didn't really have a good eye on the pitch, and now Sullivan a chance to climb back in this at-bat and get Spikes on strikes.
The 3-2 is hit on the ground to second base. It's bobbled by Sabatino, and that's going to allow Garrett Spikes to arrive at first base safely. Scoring is David Wiley, and advancing to second is Calvin Alexander. That wasn't a double play ball. The only play was going to be to first, but just a little bit careless there by Sabatino.
He kind of nonchalantly threw the glove down off the tip of the glove and into shallow right. You didn't have a chance to get the runner at home. Didn't have a chance to get the runner at second, but you thought he had a better chance to get Spikes at first base. But everybody's going to be safe, and now Kyle stepping up to the plate with 2 runners on and nobody out.
And our official scoring is a single, so Garrett Spikes' 3rd RBI of the game, and he is halfway to the cycle. Kyle Edwards now 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout to left, batting with first and second, and nobody out. He whacks the first pitch on a line down the left field line, but it's just foul.
And Kyle, he might not get every pitch to go into fair territory. He hits a lot of hard line drives foul to the left side, but you can count that he's going to be on the baseball. He's ready to hit at every single pitch that's thrown his way. He puts a lot of good contact on the baseball. Even his outs are loud outs. You're rarely going to see him make weak contact on a baseball.
It's down 0-1 here. It's 8-2 now, Tom Sox. Scoring in all but the top of the first inning from both teams as the 0-1 misses upstairs. Alexander on second. Spikes on first. Third at-bat in 3 innings for Kyle Edwards. The 1-1 is called a strike right over the outer half, and it is 1-2.
Kyle, another great two-strike hitter, isn't afraid to go the other way as well. And there's a big hole between McCoy and Sabatino over there between first and second. That's what allowed Spikes to get a productive single in his last at-bat.
The 1-2 is hit softly on a loop to short, picked up there by Riley Frost. They're going to get the force at third, 6-5, because Alexander, the runner, had to hold up to make sure it wouldn't be caught. It wasn't really a pop-up, so they couldn't call infield fly, and that's going to be a 6-5 fielder's choice for the first out of the inning.
It was more of a long ground ball rather than a pop-up. It was kind of that in-between soft line drive off the end of the bat, one hopper to the shortstop. Alexander was really caught in no man's land, had to make sure he got back to second in case it was caught on the fly, but also it wasn't hit hard enough to where he could get really a good read on where it was going.
So Edwards' tough night at the plate continues, and Bryce Martinez now, who has singled twice and scored twice, is up with first and second one away, and he's ahead in the count 1-0. Sullivan, the second Waynesboro pitcher of the night. Tom Sox bats continue to stay hot. Sullivan from the stretch just misses outside, 2-0. Tom Sox with 6 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 here in the third, still threatening. Spikes the lead runner at second. The 2-0 is swung on and missed, 2-1.
Another aggressive 2-0 swing there by a Tom Sox hitter. They haven't really connected on those 2-0 swings. He had a lot of foul balls, jams on the inside part of the plate, or just swings and misses. Eventually, this Tom Sox team is going to come through in that 2-0 scenario.
Martinez lays off that one. It's down and out, 3-1. Derek Williams waiting on deck. Well, not getting any easier for Waynesboro pitching. The 3-1 is up and in for ball 4. Now the base is loaded again for the Tom Sox. And just one away. Already in an 8-2 ball game in the bottom of the third.
And a man coming to the plate you do not want to see right now if you're Waynesboro. Derek with a game-winning home run last week and then a home run to keep, or I should say to start a rally on Sunday night in Covington, a solo shot to right field to make it 9-8 at the time. Tom Sox went on to win that game 10-9, but now a big spot with the bases juiced here for Williams in the third.
First pitch from Sullivan is whacked down the left field line. If it's fair, it's gone. He flips the bat, but it's a foul ball. Man, he got all of that one. And it is a souvenir for a lucky kid out there down the left field line, and the big exhale from the Generals dugout.
Man, that ball went at least 375 feet straight away left field. You knew it was going to be gone off the bat if it was fair, but Williams a little too early on. If he waits maybe a quarter of a second longer, that's a grand slam, and the Tom Sox have a 10-run lead.
I mean, that was a BP fastball. I mean, that
middle. Williams was ready for it.
They didn't take live BP on the field today. It was the closest thing we saw to it. With an 0-1 count now to Williams, who did he hold up on a check swing? Yes, he did, says Vance Coleman, our field umpire. And it's 1-1. And if nothing else, he got to practice his bat flip there. 1-1 the count, bases loaded, one away to Williams as they're going to keep him outside, and that one just misses. It's 2-1.
It's always good to practice the bat flip. Never know when you're going to need it. Big time scenario. This is, of course, only the third inning. If that was maybe in the 7th or the 8th, would have been even more enthusiastic.
2-1. Bases juiced. And this one is hit high in the air, deep left center field. Going back is Uejima, his hand against the fence, and he makes the grab. So the runners had to hold up. Everybody moves up a base easily. Garrett Spikes crosses the plate. So not exactly what Derek Williams was looking for there, but he does drive in a run on a sacrifice fly to center field. It's 9-2.
That's as deep of a sacrifice fly as you're going to get here at CHO Airport Field. Left center field shading more towards the scoreboard out there by the Carter Bank and Trust sign out there underneath the scoreboard. But station-to-station baseball, moving the runners up 90 feet. And now Boucher, who's already had a great start to his final game as a Tom Sock this season, a chance to drive in 2 more.
2 away. Tom Sox with 2 in here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 9-2. The first pitch is a ball to the cleanup man, Boucher. Boucher at first base tonight. Old Dominion Monarch. 1-0 the count. With 2 away, Sullivan throws a fastball, misses upstairs. First base is open, so you don't have to give him anything to hit technically, but it's a hitter's count now. Six in the first, 1 in the second, 2 here in the bottom of the 3rd for the Tom Sox as Boucher hits this one on a line up the middle, and that's through for a base hit. Will score at least 1, probably 2. Yep, here comes Edwards. He scores, and followed by his middle infield mate Martinez, and that's a 2-run single with 2 away. That makes the score 11-2 Tom Sox.
Have a day, Alex Boucher, 3 for 3, a double, 2 singles, and 4 RBIs. He didn't have a single RBI going into last night's game. He now has 8 on the season. Back-to-back 4 RBI nights for the Old Dominion shortstop.
Lyndon Coleman probably asking his coach at Old Dominion if Alex can stay for a little bit longer with those kinds of numbers. As Aiden Teal comes to the plate, he has hit the ball solidly twice. One has resulted in a single, the other in a ground out. He hits this one in the air. First pitch center field, and Uejima backs up a couple of steps and bags it for out number 3. But the Tom Sox bats sound off again. They plate 4 runs and take an 11-2 lead as we go to the top of the 4th inning. This is Tom Sox TV. Back at CHO Airport Field, 11-2. The Tom Sox in front after 3 complete. They'll make a pitching change on the mound, and we'll make a change here in the booth. It's time to turn over play-by-play to Nathan Schwartz.
Thank you, Luke. It's been a whirlwind of a game so far. 11-2. Tom Sox lead as we begin the top half of the 4th inning here at CHO Airport Field. And you mentioned Darian Smith will no longer be in the game. His final line, 3 innings, only 1 hit allowed, 2 earned runs across the plate. He walked 3 and struck out 4 in just his second start in the Tom Sox uniform. And now Braden Halliday will make another appearance for the Tom Sox this season. Halliday will make his 7th appearance. He also has a start to his name. Hasn't gone more than 3 innings in a game, and that was his first outing of the season at Culpeper. Since then, he hasn't gone more than 2 innings. We'll see how long he goes today. First pitch of the night for him, a fastball on the top half of the zone. Strike 1 to Riley Frost. Actually, that's Isaiah Mirabal in the batter's box for Waynesboro. Halliday comes to a set. That ball is grounded up the middle, past a slide in Kyle Edwards, and into center field for a base hit. Just the 2nd hit of the night for the Generals.
Edwards made his best effort on that one. I thought he was going to come up with it. Even if he did, he probably didn't have a play even with the catcher running. But that just shows you what kind of player he is, always giving it his all on every play.
So a leadoff single for Mirabal. Second time in 4 innings tonight that Waynesboro gets the leadoff man on, and now here comes Julian Uejima. First pitch to him, fastball lined into center. Wiley taking a couple steps to his left, able to make the catch for out number 1, and we saw a lot of long at-bats in the first 3 innings that turned into productive at-bats for Charlottesville. Here a couple early swings for Waynesboro.
And Braden Halliday, if you're wondering about that last name, yes, he is the son of the late, the great Doc Roy Halliday.
Braden was at Penn State for his freshman season, then went to Tallahassee Community College before transferring to High Point for this last season of his, and he will remain at High Point for next year. There's a square for Vince Sabatino, and he's unable to pull back. It'll be strike 1.
He actually fouled that one because I noticed that because the runner, Mirabal, tried to break for second, but the play was called dead, so a tip there, actually a break for the Tom Sox, I would say.
Sabatino, one of the 4 strikeout victims for Darian Smith. He ended the 2nd inning with a K. Now down 0-1 to Braden Halliday. He squares again, unable to get that one down as he fouls it off again. I believe that went off of the leg of Alexander. He'll need a minute to get his breath behind the plate, and 2 unsuccessful bunts for Sabatino.
Sabatino out of Fairmont State University in the northern part of West Virginia. Of course, that's a hidden gem area for baseball. Glenville State was produced our very own Trayvon Smith, assistant coach.
Oh-2 to Sabatino, breaking ball down low, and the count will go to 1-2. Halliday so far this season, a 1.92 ERA in 9 1/3 innings, giving up 7 hits, 4 walks, and struck out 8 batters. Got roughed up a little bit on Sunday at Covington, getting more into that. As there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, Braden Halliday. His first strikeout of the night for out number 2 here in the 4th.
Hasn't mattered who Sabatino has faced here. He's gone down swinging both times. And this is, you mentioned the guys that Smith got consecutive strikeouts against at the top and the bottom of the Waynesboro order. Here we are in the 9-hole.
So now the 9-hole hitter, Max Smiley. Another strikeout victim of Darian Smith. Led off the top of the 3rd inning. Now gets an at-bat in the 4th, and he takes the first pitch up and in for ball 1. Halliday on Sunday went an inning and a 1/3, gave up 3 runs, none of which were earned, but 4 hits for the Lumberjacks in that one. As the 1-0 to Smiley fouled to the backstop for strike number 1, it just seemed like no matter what Braden threw on Sunday, Covington was getting good barrels on the baseball, and due to an error by Henry Ford, none of those runs were charged to Halliday, and he even got the win in that game with the 9th inning rally with Derek Williams, KJ Alexander, and Kyle Edwards leading the charge in that top of the 9th. As there's a 1-1 fastball upstairs for Halliday, count moves to 2-1.
Only making 2 trips to each park other than your home each year can be kind of tough to get settled in, get into a rhythm when you're on the road in this league.
Charlottesville won both games in Covington this season. We'll play the Lumberjacks 2 more times here at CHO Airport Field. There's another ball for Halliday. And the count moves to 3 balls and a strike to Smiley.
One of those games will be 2 days from now on the 5th.
One of those makeup games from the slew of rain delays we had 2 weeks ago. 3-1 fastball swung on and missed for Smiley, and the count will go full.
Really want to stay focused here if you're the Thompsons. You got a big lead, but you don't want to play around too much here. It's still the 4th inning.
Tom Sox lead by 9, and here's the payoff pitch from Halliday to Smiley. Popped up, right side, behind the Tom Sox dugout, and it's going to be out of play for Alexander and Boucher, and we'll get another payoff pitch in a moment.
We saw the runner go early there, Mirabal. Nathan, in a game like this with a margin like this, don't be surprised to see Waynesboro working on situations and Tom Sox working on situational baseball, for that matter, when they bat.
Halliday rocks to a set. Sabatino off of first base. Full count delivery. Another pop-up and another foul ball for Max Smiley. That was actually Mirabal who's off of first base. Led off the inning with a single. Then Uejima with a line out to center, and Sabatino was a strikeout victim for that second out. Now a nice at-bat work by Max Smiley. It's 3-2, 2 out here in the top of the 4th, with the Tom Sox up by 9. Payoff from Halliday. Fastball, another line drive into center. This one might fall, but Martinez is there for out number 3. Leadoff single for Waynesboro in the top of the 4th, but then Halliday gets them 1, 2, 3, and we head to the bottom of the 4th. It's Tom Sox 11, Generals 2 here on Tom Sox TV. Six runs for the Tom Sox in the first. They added on another in the second. And then a fourth spot in that 3rd inning for Charlottesville has put us at 11 runs through 3 innings. And now the Tom Sox will bat through the 4th time through the lineup, continuing here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nathan Schwartz, Luke Nad-Carney with you. Here from CHO Airport Field, the first pitch of the inning is a strike on the inside corner to Connor Hinks, who was the lone Tom Sox to not step up to the plate in the 3rd.
Hinks at pretty much every position this year. He's the Roy Kent of our team. He's here, he's there, he's every freaking where.
Mr. Versatile for this Tom Sox team. We've seen him at first base, second base, third base, outfield, designated hitter, other than shortstop and behind the plate and center field, which is 3 of the more premier positions. He does it all everywhere else and produces at the plate as well. He had an RBI single in the 1st inning, down in the count 0-2, and he goes chasing on the 0-2 breaking ball and a quick 3-pitch strikeout for Jack Sullivan.
So Hinks down to 1 for 3 on the day. That was the first at-bat where he had seen more than one pitch. He was first pitch swinging on the first 2. And positive start now for the Generals here in the bottom of the 4th. Tom Sox have scored in each of their at-bats.
Hinks now 1 for 3 in the game, line out in the 2nd, and a strikeout to begin the 4th as David Wiley, who led off the 3rd with a hit by pitch, will take a breaking ball for strike 1. Sullivan entered the game and faced Garrett Spikes, gave up a single to him. Edwards reached on fielder's choice. A Watch Martinez sac fly for Williams and a 2-run single for Alex Boucher. Already 3 earned runs charged to Sullivan. The final line for Cerrone, 2 innings, 7 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Already 0-2 the count to David Wiley. Here's the pitch from Sullivan. Breaking ball well in front of the plate. Ball went about 58 feet. And the count moves to 1-2.
Maybe even 57. That one was obvious it was going to bounce.
57-58. It's a ball neither way.
As long as you don't swing.
Exactly. Straight up defense for Waynesboro here against Wiley in that 7th spot tonight for the Tom Sox and playing center field. 1-2 breaking ball nearly hits him again. Thought it might have gotten the elbow guard, but it just missed him. And the count will move even to 2s. Wiley flew out to center in his first at-bat back in that 1st inning. And then, as I mentioned, led off the 3rd with a hit by pitch, came around to score on the Garrett Spikes RBI single. 2-2 breaking ball. That is lined into center field for a base hit. That's how you sit on a breaking ball. David Wiley with a nice instruction to all the young baseball players out in the stands tonight. And he'll be on first base with 1 away here in the 4th.
Got a really good crowd here tonight. Holiday tomorrow. A lot of people don't have to work, and that was a great piece of hitting. Not trying to do too much with it. And this is how the rallies have started for the Tom Sox. Back in the 1st, it was singles were the name of the game, and now you got power up the plate with KJ.
It's already the 10th hit of the game for Charlottesville. And there's a deep drive for Alexander, sending Uejima back to the track. Goodbye, baseball. KJ Alexander goes yard. Tom Sox continue the scoring streak, make it 13-2 Sox here in the 4th.
A little bit of early fireworks here. 28 hours before they should be shooting off. The Tom Sox get runs number 12 and 13, and it continues. The onslaught does. Tom Sox have now scored in 4 out of 4 ABs.
6 runs in the 1st, 1 run in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd, and now 2 more in this 4th inning for Charlottesville, for KJ. It's his 2nd home run of the season. Make that RBIs number 8 and 9, and the Tom Sox with an 11-run advantage here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The one thing missing in this offensive night for Charlottesville has been the triple. A ton of singles, a couple doubles, and now a home run for KJ Alexander, and a guy with plenty of speed in the batter's box right now. Garrett Spikes could get that triple. Instead, rolls over to first base. McCoy will step on the bag himself, route number 2.
First time Spikes has been retired tonight. I was thinking he might get the triple next. He's had a double and a 1-bagger, but they finally are able to solve the great Garrett Spikes mystery, are the Waynesboro Generals.
So Spikes now 2 for 3 after 2 hits and 3 RBIs to begin his night. Now Kyle Edwards, who reached base for the first time tonight with a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Still looking for that first hit of the evening. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1.
Edwards trying not to be that guy tonight in this offensive explosion. Always seems like there's 1 or 2 guys who can't quite get it going.
And you wouldn't think it would be Kyle that would be that guy with the way he's been hitting recently. As the 1-0 rolled over in front of the Waynesboro dugout to even the count at 1. Just seems like he's a little anxious and wants to get that hit, so he's pressing.
Well, he just saw a ball get hit by about, clear the fence by about 30 feet by KJ Alexander, so I can't blame him for being antsy.
Yeah, the balls are flying tonight. He knew that in the 1st inning when he ended the inning on a deep fly out to left field. There's a ball on a 1-hop to the shortstop Frost. He will throw to first, and Edwards now 0 for 4. And the Tom Sox take an 11-run advantage into the top of the 5th. KJ Alexander blasts his second home run of the season. It's 13-2 Tom Sox as we head to the 5th here on Tom Sox TV. A couple defensive changes as we begin the top half of the 5th inning here at CHO Airport Field. Garrett Spikes will move from right to left field. Derek Williams out of the game, and Hollis Porter will now bat for him in the number 3 spot and now plays right field. First pitch of the inning for Halliday is down low for ball 1, and he'll face the leadoff man, Alexander McCoy.
Well, you may only expect to bat 3 times in a game, but most Tom Sox batters have batted 3 times here through the first 4.
Real early sub for Lyndon Coleman and company in this ball game, but with the score being the way it is, something you might expect. A lot of recently for the Tom Sox, it's been just getting as many guys into the game as you can and just putting guys in certain situations. There's been about 5 or 6 subs in each of the last 4 games. 1-1 from Halliday. That one is aligned into right center field. Wiley will not get there in time, and it's a leadoff single for Alexander McCoy. Was the hottest hitter in this Generals lineup coming into the game, and he'll get his first hit tonight, hit number 31 on the season for him.
That's his first time getting on base tonight. He had struck out and flown out to center, and top of this Generals order, if they're going to do any kind of chipping into this lead, they need to start now. Do have the run rule in effect. And we're going to get a pinch hitter, so substitutions abound for both teams.
And this will be number 12, Brandon Parks, listed as a two-way player, outfielder, and first baseman from Hampton, Virginia. 10's George Mason. First pitch into Parks is a strike on the outside corner. George Mason in the Winston-Salem Regional made it all the way to the regional final, beat my Maryland Terrapins in the regional semifinal.
That they did, and then they got pummeled by the host Demon Deacons of Wake Forest.
0-1 from Halliday. Change up on the outside corner for strike 2. That was a really good-looking pitch, Luke.
Yeah, it was right on the outer half, and if I'm not mistaken, Maryland hosted Wake in 2022, and then the roles were reversed in 2023.
That would be correct. Maryland eliminated Wake Forest in 2022 in the College Park Regional. And then Wake Forest took care of business against Maryland in the 2023 Winston-Salem Regional. Soft ground ball to second. Martinez throws to Boucher at first for out number 1.
Slow hit ball, grass skimmer, as Matt Christopher would say. And the only play there for Martinez was going to be to first, not overthinking it there. So the Generals have a guy in scoring position with 1 out.
Now, Braden Forchick, who's 1 for 2 in the game, an RBI double his last time up in the 3rd. He also grounded out to Edwards to end the 1st. He'll get a chance with a runner in scoring position and 1 away. You're trailing by 11. First pitch from Halliday, fastball. That one's lined into left. Spikes moving from right to left, and it's over his head and all the way to the wall. McCoy will trot home easily. And it's another RBI double for Braden Forchick. His second RBI double of the night, and now the 11-run deficit cut down to 10.
Well, they say the ball will find you as Garrett Spikes moving from right to left and getting a test at his new position. Wasn't in the right position there. He was playing too far shallow, and that's going to allow a run to score.
What's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you.
Doing well, man. How are you?
So Alexander McCoy scores on the RBI double for Forchick. He's driven in 2 of the 3 runs tonight for Waynesboro. And now Parker Stroh, the designated hitter, a chance to keep the ball moving. But that pitch, first pitch swinging, popped up left center. And a lot to unpack there as that ball is going to be dropped in the outfield. Then Spikes is able to get there and throw to third for the tag play. No force. There was a runner on second with 1 out. Looked like there was just no communication between Edwards and Spikes. That there was no way Edwards was going to get there in time. It drops behind his glove, and Spikes coming in was able to quickly recover and throw to Hinks at third.
And it works out for the Tom Sox because they get the lead runner thrown out. Interesting that he even ran there because there was no force. I think that should be a single and then just a put out on the throw.
Yeah, because he touched first base before there was a play made, there's likely going to be a single and then just an out at third base. Weird scoring there, but nonetheless, runner on first, 2 away now for Riley Frost, who's 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch in the game, and he sends this one foul into the woods behind the press box for strike 2.
Just a reminder, if you return your foul ball to the concession stand.
But then as yet another Kyle Edwards Herculean effort. That ball was hitting the mid-level left field.
Halliday had 0-2, and that one is down in the dirt and off of the shin guard of KJ Alexander. It'll go down as a wild pitch.
And the put out at third now looming large there because that pass ball / wild pitch would have played it a run for the Generals.
Yeah, going to go down as a wild pitch. Stroh moves up to second. Frost at the plate now. Another runner in scoring position for Waynesboro, trailing by 10 here in this top of the 5th inning. Halliday checks Stroh at second. The 1-2 fouled off again by Frost. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We've had scoring in all but 2 half innings tonight, the top of the 1st and the top of the 4th, with the Generals pushing across 1 here.
One, 2 from Halliday. Fastball outside, missing. Evens the count at 2. Halliday, this is his 2nd inning of relief. Giving up 4 hits already. Been roughed up the last couple of times he stepped onto the mound. Another 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed strike 3. Alexander will have to throw to first to complete the strikeout, and he does just that. 2 strikeouts through 2 innings for Braden Halliday, but Waynesboro gets 1 back, an RBI double for Braden Forchick, his 2nd play like that of the night. Brings it back to a 13-3 ball game. Tom Sox up by 10 as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on Tom Sox TV. 16-3 Charlottesville as we begin the bottom half of the 5th inning here on Tom Sox TV. Nathan Schwartz, Luke Nad Carney with you here from CHO Airport Field at Charlottesville High School. Tom Sox have scored at least one run in each of the 4 innings so far. 6 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the third, and 2 in the fourth, thanks to a 2-run homer for KJ Alexander. Tom Sox really struggled to hit home runs here at CHO Airport Field over the first 7 or so home games, but now the last couple home games, balls are just flying out of here, especially to that left center gap.
As a team, 4 homers through the first 16 games, 4 homers through the last 5 games.
And that ball for Alexander was absolutely demolished. Straightaway center field, deepest part of the park onto the hill. It looks a little bit more shallow because of that hill. I don't know how far that ball went. Had to have been at least 400 feet, though. Likely would have been going at most major league parks.
All but Detroit, probably.
More than likely, there's a foul ball to the left side. It'll get out of play, and Martinez will be down in the count. 1-2. Bryce tonight, he's 2 for 2 with 3 stolen bases and a walk. He's scored 3 runs, 1 run each time he's come to bat.
I wonder if any of these guys could get it over that new moved back left field fence at Camden Yards, which I think is an abomination, but that's a story for another day.
I don't know if anybody could get it over Baltimore out there at Camden Yards. 1-2 to Bryce Martinez. Fastball chopped to the left side. Third baseman Smiley will make the play. Nice scoop by Alexander McCoy at first base to combine for out number 1.
As a former first baseman myself, I can appreciate that one. Really underrated asset of these guys' games is over at the first sack over there is the ability to just dig out balls from the dirt like they're nothing and taking a lot of pressure off of your infielders there if you can do that.
So Hollis Porter entered the game as a defensive replacement in the top half of this inning, the new right fielder. He will now bat for Derek Williams in this 5th inning. Williams finishes the night 0 for 1 with an RBI and a walk. And without getting a play in left field, Hollis Porter now will get his first at-bat tonight. Hollis on the season hitting .233. He's appeared in 18 games coming into the game. So this is game number 19 for him, and he's already had 2-0 in this at-bat.
Down to Mississippi State, who had a tough go of it in the SEC this year, finishing dead last out of 14 teams, missing the conference tournament in Hoover.
Hollis, 5 RBIs on the season. He's walked 14 times, which leads the team, but he also leads the team in strikeouts with 20. So he likes to get on base, but when he doesn't, it's more often than not a K. But right here, he's worked the count 3-0 in his first plate appearance of the night with Alex Boucher, who's scorching hot on deck. Sullivan remains in the game for Waynesboro, and his 3-0 delivery is aligned into left center field for a base hit. Hollis Porter doesn't care about the unwritten rules of baseball and swings 3-0 and drives a single the other way.
Also, it looks like Hollis Porter would make a good golfer if this baseball thing doesn't work out. That one looked like it was a little bit low, but he just served it into left center field for a 1-out single, and now you've got the red-hot Alex Boucher coming up, and I think we're going to get a pitching change for Waynesboro.
Haven't seen Hollis go the other way a lot this season. He does it there on a 3-0 fastball, and he will be on first base, and we will get a new pitcher. Score remains 13-3 Charlottesville, and we'll take a quick break while the new arm for Waynesboro warms up. This is Tom Sox TV. continue the bottom of the fifth here on Tom Sox TV. Nathan Schwartz, Luke Nat, and Carney here from CHO Airport Field. Mason Stroh, the new arm for Waynesboro, freshman right-hander, North Iowa Area Community College. First pitch he throws is outside, down low to Alex Boucher, who's had quite the night in his final game as the Tom Sock. 3 for 3, 4 RBIs. And he lines one into right field for a base hit. Porter will round second and go to third. Boucher takes a hard turnaround first, but will stay put. Boucher 4 for 4 on the night with 3 singles, a double, 4 ribbies. He is going out in style.
He might be hitting up Wendy's after this game for the 4 for 4 because all 4 is wild for him. I thought maybe they were going to try to send that runner home and be a little bit crazy to help him pick up his 5th RBI. But what's the opposite of the golden sombrero? Because that's what Alex Boucher has been doing tonight.
4 for 4. You look at his production prior to last night, he hadn't been doing too much at the plate for the Tom Sox. He was pretty good in the field, ranging from shortstop to third base to first base the past couple weeks. But his offensive production over the last 2 games has been unmatched. Probably the best 2-game stretch of any Tom Sox hitter this season. And now runners on the corners with 1 away for Aiden Teal. Teal picked up his first RBI of the season back in the first inning with an RBI single, and then lined out in the second, struck out to begin the 4th. Now a 1-0 fastball misses outside. He's ahead 2-0.
And Brandon Parks remains in the game for Waynesboro after pinch hitting for Alex Miller, so he's in right field and will occupy the number 2 spot.
2-0 from Stroh to Teal. Fastball up and out. And 1 pitch away from another bases-loaded situation for Charlottesville. And Connor Hinks stepping up to the plate. .3-0 to Teal, and that's upstairs, a 4-pitch walk. And that will load the bases for Connor Hanks, who's already driven in 1 tonight. Could break this game even more wide open with a big hit here.
And a rude greeting for Mason Stroh from this Tom Sox offense. A solid base hit from Alex Boucher. And now Hinks, a guy who's really, I think this is a guy who's put in his dues this year in the field. And, you know, not a game-changing situation with the Tom Sox already up by 10, but he's got ducks on the pond with an opportunity to improve his stats a little bit.
Hinks entering the game was hitting .239. 9 RBIs now on the season after his RBI single in the first. Now the umpires coming together. I believe there might have been some lightning. We were told before during the pitching change that there was a potential weather scenario. And now it appears we would be going into a lightning delay. This game can be considered complete. We have played 4.5. The Tom Sox batted in the bottom of the 5th inning, so this could be considered a completed game. And with the slew of rainouts over the past week or so in Charlottesville, it could benefit both squads to just get this game over with now that we've played the full game, save some pitching. It's already a 10-run baseball game, but we'll see what happens here.
And Matt Hollum is out there talking to James Love. We'll go dark here in a minute, but we'll reset everything before we do. Matt Hollum talking to James Love out there at the plate. I'm going to assume we'll go into a delay, wait out the rain, but we will not stay on here and try to fill the time and tap dance. We're gonna go ahead and go down here, but it is 13-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tom Sox batting with the bases loaded and 1 out. And like you said, Nathan, we have played what can be considered an official game.
An official game, possibly. Don't know the exact scenario. The communication's a little all over the place right now. There's an announcement made that we are in a delay, but I'm not necessarily sure what the exact diagnosis is going to be right here. Of course, you have to wait the 30 minutes if there's lightning within an X amount of miles of the stadium. I believe it's 8 miles from CHO Airport Field. Already a 13-3 game here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Just a little bit of a game reset. 6 runs in the first inning for Charlottesville. Alex Boucher with an RBI single. Aiden Teal with an RBI single. Connor Hinks with an RBI single. Garrett Spikes with a 2-run double. In that second inning, just an RBI double for Alex Boucher, and then in the third, an RBI single for Spikes, a sac fly for Williams, and a 2-run single for Boucher. And then in that fourth inning, KJ Alexander with a 2-run blast to straightaway center field to put it at a 13-3 game. And now Lyndon Coleman and Matt Holum will get together at the plate to discuss what they're going to do. The Tom Sox are going to put the tarps on home plate and the mound.
I think the rain is coming. I think that's kind of a given. It's just going to be how hard is it? Can they keep the field playable? And we'll encourage everybody to follow the Tom Sox Twitter page for updates, as we're gonna momentarily here go dark ourselves. At Seville Tom Sox, stay updated there for any information related to this delay in this game.
And like Luke said, be sure to stay tuned on our Twitter. If this has been the ball game, though, it was a great one here in Charlottesville. If this game does stand, the Tom Sox will move to 14-7 on the season and win their 5th straight game. Waynesboro would drop to 8-16 on the season, and the Tom Sox would take the season series lead 2-1 with just 1 game remaining in the 4-game season set. So for Luke Nat Carney, I'm Nathan Schwartz signing off for now. We hope to be able to talk more about this game to you in the future, but if not, have a good night, safe travels, enjoy the 4th of July, and we'll be back on Tom Sox TV Wednesday night.